By the end of this video, you'll be able to write and run a whole test suite with Claude Code, ensuring your code is robust and reliable. You'll learn how to leverage Claude's capabilities to streamline your testing process. Testing is a crucial part of the development cycle, and it can be tedious and time-consuming if done manually. That's where Claude Code comes in. It allows you to automate your testing, catch bugs early, and save time in the long run. With Claude Code, you can write tests that are easy to read and maintain and run them with just a few clicks. This means you can focus on writing code, not debugging it. We'll start with the basics of testing with Claude Code and work our way up to running a full test suite. You'll see how to write tests, run them, and use the results to improve your code. By automating your testing with Claude Code, you'll be able to deliver high-quality code faster and with more confidence. So, let's get started with setting up our testing environment and writing our first test with Claude Code. Vocabulary, automation, robust, reliable, tedious capabilities. By the end of this, you'll be able to set up your project to start writing and running tests with Claude Code. First, create a new directory for your project and navigate into it. You can do this by running dir myproject and then cd myproject in your terminal. Next, you need to initialize a new project using npm init. Fill out the prompts as you like, but for now, just accept the defaults by hitting enter for each one. This will create a package.json file in your project directory. Now, install the Claude Code CLI by running npm install. Save dev at claude/code-cli. This will add the Claude Code CLI as a dev dependency in your package.json file. While that's installing, let's talk about why we're doing this. The Claude Code CLI provides a simple way to run your tests and integrate with the Claude platform. Once the installation is complete, you can verify that everything is working by running npx Claude Code version. This should print out the version of the Claude Code CLI that you just installed. Now that you have the Claude Code CLI installed, you're ready to start setting up your test suite. By the end of this section, you'll be able to write effective test cases using Claude Code. You've set up your project. Now it's time to write tests. Claude Code makes this straightforward with its simple syntax. You'll use assertions to verify your code behaves as expected. Let's start with a basic example. Open your test.clude file and add a new test case using the test keyword followed by a descriptive name. For instance, test my first test. Inside this test, you can use the assert function to check if a condition is true. For example, if you have a function add, AB, that returns the sum of two numbers, your test might look like assert add 2, 3 equals 5. This checks if the result of add 2, 3 is indeed 5. Claude Code also supports more advanced features like test hooks, which allow you to run setup or tear down code for your tests. This is useful for scenarios where you need to initialize or clean up resources. To use a test hook, you define a function with the hook keyword, specifying whether it should run before or after each test. For instance, hook before _ each mySetup would run the mySetup function before each test. This keeps your tests clean and focused on the logic you're testing. Now, try writing your first test case in test.clude using an assertion to verify a simple function works as expected. By now, you've got a few test cases written up in your claude.md file. Great job, but writing tests is just the first step. The real magic happens when you run them to see if everything works as expected. To run your test suite, you're going to use the closec command from the Claude Code CLI. This tool makes it super easy to execute all your test cases in one go. Here's how. 1. Open a terminal window where you have your project directory open. 2. Type the following command. closec run file test.claude.md. This command tells Claude Code to look for and run all the test cases in the test.claude.md file. If you named your claude.md file differently, just replace tests.claude.md with your actual file name. 3. Press Enter to execute the command. Claude Code will start running through each of your test cases and report back on their success or failure. Now, let's say you get a warning about an incomplete test case. No worries. You can use additional flags to help debug. To show detailed logs for easier troubleshooting, add verbose. closec run file test.claude.md verbose. If you want to filter down to a specific test or tag, use the tag flag. For example, if you want to focus only on tests tagged with unit. Sa, closet run, file test.claude.md, tag unit. Need help? Use the help flag to see all available options. Sa, closet run, help. By running your test suite, you can ensure that every piece of functionality in your project is working as intended and catch any bugs early on. This process saves a lot of time and hassle down the line. By the end of this, you'll be able to review your test results, identify areas for improvement, and refine your code to ensure it meets the required standards and passes all tests. Now that you've run your test suite with Claude Code, it's time to review the results. You'll see a summary of which tests passed and which failed. Look for the tests that failed and check the error messages to understand what went wrong. This is where the real work begins, refining your code to fix those failures. Open up the test files and the corresponding code file side by side. For each failed test, go through the code line by line and use the error messages as a guide to identify the issues. Make the necessary changes and then rerun the test suite. You'll repeat this process until all tests pass. This iterative process ensures your code is robust, reliable, and meets the required standards. As you work through the failed tests, you'll become more familiar with how Claude Code works and how to write effective tests. Now, go ahead and review your test results, pick a failed test, and start refining your code. Rerun the test suite with the command Claude test and see the results for yourself. Vocabulary: iterative, refinement, robust, reliability. By the end of this, you'll be able to integrate your test suite into your continuous integration/continuous deployment pipeline with Claude Code. You made it through writing and running a whole test suite. That's a big deal. Now, let's take it to the next level. You've seen how Claude Code can help you write and run tests, and you've even refined your code based on the results. But to really unlock the power of automated testing, you need to integrate it into your CI/CD pipeline. That's where the real magic happens. To get started, run the command Claude test, help in your terminal. This will show you all the options and features available for automated testing with Claude Code. Take a look at the various flags and commands. You'll see how you can customize the testing process to fit your needs. By integrating your test suite into your CI/CD pipeline, you'll be able to catch bugs and errors earlier and ensure that your code is always stable and reliable. So go ahead, give it a try. Run Claude test, help, and see what possibilities open up. Your next step is to explore the output and start planning how you'll automate your testing workflow. Vocabulary: pipeline, integration, automated deployment.